Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Warframe. Today's video we're going to go over my Trinity build. This is my Trinity Prime. She looks alright. The problem I have with Trinity Prime is she always looks kinda too busy. Like there's too much stuff on her. But, nevertheless. Let's go over her abilities first. Trinity is the quintessential healer frame slash support frame. Her passive ability, fallen allies revive 25% faster and from 50% further away, so you can get people up easier. Not a great passive, but, you know, it's fine. First ability is Well of Life. You turn a enemy into like a life font, so when allies attack them and do damage to them, they will heal compared to how much damage they deal, essentially. Next is Vampire Leech. You hit an enemy with Vampire Leech and then they will become like a radial font of giving everybody energy. Anyone inside that will get energy. It gives a set amount of energy and the duration will just depend how long it takes to get rid of that energy. You can also kill the enemy and that will immediately release all of the energy in one big sort of burst. Next you have Link. Essentially you link to lots of enemies around you and then the damage you take gets channeled out to the enemies you're linked with. So essentially it makes you slightly more tanky. And I guess it kind of does damage as well, but honestly, you're not going to be doing enough damage with Link to be able to actually kill the enemies, but... And then finally we have Blessing, where it's just an enormous AoE heal that will heal all of your teammates. It also restores shields and can give a little bit of overshields. If you're doing it on someone who is full health, full shields, they'll get a bit of overshield as well. Which is nice, but it's essentially just a massive heal. Also, it has a duration, and as long as the duration is going, you have damage reduction up to 75%. Yeah, so that's her abilities. They're all pretty straightforward. Now, I have two builds for Trinity. It's worth noting that these aren't as optimal as they could be. I could add some more Forma and get these better, but honestly, I never use Trinity pretty much. Honestly, she's not required for a hell of a lot, and the things that she's really good in, I don't usually take her because I have a friend who plays Trinity all the time, so I don't have to, essentially. And I don't find her particularly interesting. First is this is just my general build that I use, and then we have the Blessing build. And the Blessing build is essentially a huge amount of duration and enough strength to get that 75% damage reduction. And the idea being you just always have Blessing up and everyone always has 75% damage reduction. It's a pretty good build in all honesty in pretty much anything. Giving your entire team 75% damage reduction just essentially constantly is really, really good. Yeah, pretty much. And the general build is kind of a more balanced thing, and I use it mainly for Energy Vampire. But we'll go over the Blessing one first. Corrosive Projection. Armor sucks. Always good to get rid of armor. We got Power Drift for the ability Strength. Again, chance to resist knockdown is nice, but power strength. Narrow Minded for a huge amount of duration at the cost of some range. Prime Continuity. Again, more duration. Streamline just for some efficiency so you can cast more often. We have Stretch for range, Quick Thinking, and Prime Flow, survivability. Essentially, Quick Thinking, when you get down to 0 health, you start draining your energy rather than your health, and Prime Flow gives you a bunch of energy, so that's actually quite good for survivability. Then we have Augur Reach for more duration, and then Umbral Intensify to get that strength up. It's worth noting that after you hit 150 power strength, you have the maximum damage reduction from Blessing. So you don't actually have to go any higher than 150 to get that Blessing. I'm sitting on 155 just because that's what you happen to get with Umbral Intensify and Power Drift. And if you take that down to a regular Intensify, it actually takes you slightly under 150%. It'll take you to 145, I think. Because you lose 10. Yeah, so it'll take you 145. But, you know, I have Arcane Energize, Arcane Grace. Arcane Energize on here just because you're playing a support character. It just makes sense to have a support Arcane. And giving your allies extra energy is always good. But for my more general build, we have this, which is Corrosive Projection, Cunning Drift for ability range, Overextended for ability range at the cost of some strength, Transient Fortitude for a bunch of ability strength and cuts down the duration, Stretch for more range, we have Vampire Leech, so excess energy that you get off Vampire Leech will go into the shields, and it gives a fair amount of overshields, it's quite nice. Prime Vigor, just for survivability. Arguably, you could swap this out for quick thinking. But generally I'm not taking her on places where that's really necessary, and the reason I like Prime Vigor is because with Vampire Leech you get, the more shields you have, the more overshields you have, essentially. And honestly, I think Prime Vigor is probably better than putting in, the shield one. I legitimately can't remember what it's called. Redirection. I mean, you could make the argument for redirection, I suppose, and then give yourself, like, ludicrous amounts of overshield. But the problem with that is, like, there's a lot of things, if you don't have enough health, there's a lot of things that can very quickly kill you. Relying on shields usually isn't the best way. Most notably, if you get hit by, like, Toxin proc, for instance, you'll just die. But then we have Augur Secrets for more ability strength, and Umbrella Intensify for ability strength. As you can see here, that gets us over 150, so we do have 75% damage reduction on Bless. But the other thing with this is Bless doesn't last very long on this build, because we've actually cut duration a bit. And there is a reason for that, excuse me, is that because of the way Vampire Leech works, it's essentially the lower the duration, the better, because there's a set amount of energy that is given back by Vampire Leech based on your power strength. And it doesn't matter how long the duration is for this, for all of that energy to be given. So essentially, if you use Vampire Leech and it's done in a second, then all of the energy is given to you in a second. Which is, I mean, it's better. You want low duration on Vampire Leech, essentially. And you can go whole hog into this, it's worth noting, and if we chuck in... I'm just going to search for efficiency. There we go, you can chuck Fleeting in here, if I were to have the mod slots for it, which I don't. But if we had Fleeting in here, that would lower our duration even more, and take it down to 13%, which, like, essentially that means you cast Vampire Leech and you just immediately get a shit ton of energy. It also has the benefit of making your efficiency better, but that will require another former here, and I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, it also makes Bless, like, an instant heal, rather than a damage reduction thing, which, I mean, for a very few niche cases is nice, I suppose, but I'm kind of okay with this. This is the one we'll show off today, by the way. We have Arcane Aegis in here as well for more shields, and Arcane Grace, because it's good. Alrighty then, let's go for the test. I could do the level 145 test here, and I think I will, just because, you know, why not? But it's worth noting here that she's not particularly good at killing enemies. That's not really her thing. Not that she should be, theoretically, like, she's just... Alright, we're back. So I did the test at level 145, and I died, like, twice doing it, which kind of highlights my problem with, one, my current build, but two, the fact that trying to kill enemies by yourself while trying to stay alive with Trinity is kind of difficult. Unless you're doing the Bless build, obviously, the Bless build makes it a lot easier. But at really high-level stuff, Trinity's job is keep everyone alive, and then don't worry about killing, and all the other guys will kill. So when you're doing like a single test like this, it's kind of harder. So I've chucked it down to level 100 instead. Which can, like, just as easily demonstrate what I'm trying to show with the build. It's not like a particularly difficult build to get around. It's essentially just murder things, while occasionally hitting all your abilities. I'm trying to kill the Ancient. There we go. Alright, Ancient dead. I'm far less worried now, that's for sure. It's worth noting you can do Vampire Leech and... Sorry, Leech and Health Font on the same character. As you can see here, I turned this guy into both. Now the Ancient's dead, I'm less worried about everything. I assume the only things that are going to be left are Heavy Gunners and Bombards, just because, well, I mean, quite frankly, they're the ones that I have to worry about. Get myself some energy. Hit Link. Hit my 4. That's everyone dead, I think. Yeah, it's everyone. So my build has some problems at very high levels. Granted, if I'm going to be playing Trinity at high level stuff, I'm going to probably be doing the Blessing build instead. Because, like, at high level stuff, that's Trinity's job. This is kind of more for, like, low to mid tier stuff, is what I use this for. It's kind of like... Yeah. I mean, Energy Vampire is good on this build, but again, it's not the perfect build for Energy Vampire, because you'd want lower duration. For high level stuff, you just go Bless and you Bless a bunch. Also, if people have better builds for this, let me know. As I said, I pretty much never played Trinity, and this is just what I go with. My general build here, my Blessing build here. Let me know in the comments if you've got better stuff. And obviously there is a few adjustments I could make, but I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, she's just the support girl. That's what she does, and she does it well. Anyway, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Which is gonna be... Valkyr, I think? Which is kind of insane. We're getting close to the end of all the Warframes, which I'm happy about. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.